So you recently visited Bangladesh and you met the interim leader, Mohammad Yunus. What are your take on Bangladesh situation right now? It's getting worse day by day, especially for the Hindu minority, and of course for us as well as a relationship with our neighborhood.
Well, we just had the visit of our foreign secretary to Bangladesh yesterday. And I'm sure that these issues have been talked about. See, there are two ways. One is actual relationship. The other thing is what is projected in the media. There is no doubt there is an anti-India feeling at the grassroots level, very wrongly so. And I mentioned it to the leaders there also. I say, you can't have India as a punching bag. We have only helped you. We want to help you. And if Sheikh Hasina was in power, we have to deal with her. Today you are in power, we are dealing with you. Anybody who is in power, you have to deal with them when state to state this happens. So, but whatever India has done, billions of dollars we have invested in infrastructure, providing assistance and non-reciprocal assistance is for the people of Bangladesh.
True, that's what the PM
And that's
said.
what the people need to understand that. So I think that, in my view, I think that unfortunately, India was clubbed with Hasina, who did not care much about the people. And more people were distanced from her, which was visible during this. That's why you saw very quick, change in government there. But there is a very big challenge. As I said, same thing applies there also. Transition is never easy because they had no game plan. He has created some committees and all, which will come up with a report in January. But then if there is no political transition in time,
he's busy removing the legacy of the father of a nation, Sheikh Mujibur, but he's not focusing on the elections, for instance.
Yes, that's a big complaint against him. But he says that he has a constitutional committee, reform committee, and all. He has set up election committee reforms. So once the reports come, then only he'll be able to implement. But this is an internal matter. We are worried because the security situation in Bangladesh has negative repercussions for us. Likewise, the minorities, the Hindu minorities, with all our neighbors, this becomes a major issue always because we also share borders with them. Bangladesh has 3 sides border with India. So, and plus India is also a Hindu majority state. So obviously the concern of the people is legitimate.
Right.
And they need to, this is their job to stop these kind of excesses against the minority communities.
Right. I want to share a perspective with you, sir. I was listening to a conversation by an ex-CIA officer, Andrew Busterman is called, and he was saying that World War III won't be like the World War I and World War II. In fact, he says that World War III is already happening,
Yes.
and it is more related to all the proxies from the external players that is the situation. And we are seeing 115 conflicts.
Yeah.
So he's saying World War III is already happening. What is your take on that?
No, I agree with you. I mean, this is true. I mean, it's not happening in the way it happened earlier when you had the groups, Axis and this, that. But it is also happening by all over, in fact, in different ways. And we know those 4Gs I mentioned to you. So the conflicts are there, and they have the potential of escalation to the nuclear ladder. And that is the worst part of it. If that happens, then you are, counting our days.
What needs to happen for a nuclear war to just ignite?
Well, nuclear weapon systems or weapons were basically meant for deterrence.
Yeah.
But as the nuclear doctrines are being made more pliable and the thresholds are being reduced, the chances of escalation because of
has gone up
much higher today. And therefore, this can only happen if the Russians, the Americans, the Chinese, those who are the major powers,
right,
stay within their own limits rather than crossing it all the time.
There's a doomsday clock, sir, which was started when the nuclear talks had begun, the nuclear research development, and at the moment it is the closest to 12 o'clock, which is the end game.
I hope it doesn't reach there.
It's like, I think it's 45 minutes to 12 o'clock. And it keeps changing depending on various factors and all various conflicts around the world. What you just watched was just the tip of the iceberg. If you're as curious as us on subjects that govern the world and our lives, you're at the right place. Do consider subscribing, because the next conversation might just change how you see the world. Until then, keep reimagining yourself and know that the power of change lies within you. Jai Hind.